Right now at 5:30, a man's dead after being hit by a car on Interstate 75. What we know about that just ahead on WKYT this morning.
Also on WKYT Live Now, crews worked overnight to find the body of a 13-year-old who went missing while swimming at a lake with his family. We'll have the details on that coming up this morning.
Some changes are coming to this year's 4th of July fireworks display. Everything you need to know about the show coming up on WKYT.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Kentucky morning start here on WKYT, including the 1st of July, which it is on this Friday. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. You know, it doesn't really feel like July, though.
That's right. It's been pretty pleasant the last couple of days. We are going to see some changes over the weekend. It's not all bad. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, the past couple of days have been really nice. Today, it's not all that bad, except for we'll throw in a few rumbles of thunder here in the forecast for today, especially during the afternoon hour. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s this morning. That's a nice start with no rain outside. By the afternoon, though, anywhere from, I would say, noon is when you start to see those clouds building, and around 1 to about 8 p.m., that's your best bet to see a passing shower or thunderstorm. Remember, not everybody will see this, and temperatures will be there around 83 degrees. So a 40% chance of rain today, but does it increase for the weekend, and when? I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, look forward to that full forecast in just a bit. Let's get to the news.
Yeah, a man who was walking on Interstate 75 has died after being hit by a car.
This happened late last night in Madison County, right on the outskirts of Berea. WKYT's Mark Barber is live with what we know about the investigation underway now. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Police are releasing very few details about this fatal crash, so we are still working to figure out if the driver who killed the pedestrian will be charged in this crash. We are also working to find out why that pedestrian was walking on I-75 here late last night. We are calling investigators this morning, working to get more information, but here's what we know so far. The crash happened around 11 last night in the southbound lanes near mile marker 77. The driver who hit the pedestrian did stop and waited for help. The coroner is now trying to track down the family of the person who died, so he is not releasing their name yet. The crash shut down 2 lanes of traffic, but this morning everything is back open and traffic is moving smoothly once again. And while this crash has been cleared, police are continuing to investigate the fatal wreck. We are also working to find out more information about this crash ourselves, and as always, we'll keep you updated with the very latest information on air and online. Live in Berea, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, more to find out about that, but obviously a sad situation on the interstate there in Berea, and we thank you, Mark. New this morning, the body of a Powell County man who died while on vacation has been returned to Kentucky. Ricky Borders was in Florida when he was killed in an accident with a gun. Last night, his remains were welcomed at Bluegrass Airport by an honor guard. The guard then escorted the body back to Powell County. Borders served 2 tours in Iraq as a Marine before being medically retired. When he returned home to Powell County, he became an MMA fighter and then a martial arts teacher. And Borders' mother says more than $10,000 was raised to bring his body back and to help his wife and kids. Today, friends and family will be coming together to mourn the loss of a man who was shot to death last weekend in Lexington. The city's latest murder victim, Robert Warner, was shot Saturday behind the Continental Square apartments. His funeral is at 1 o'clock this afternoon at Shiloh Baptist Church. The visitation for Warner will begin at 11 o'clock this morning and last until the funeral. No arrests have been made in the case. A 13-year-old boy went missing while swimming in a Kentucky lake with his family. Michelle Chamberlain is at our alert desk now with details on the search for him. Michelle?
Bill, crews worked overnight to recover that young boy's body. The Warren County Sheriff's Office says the teenager is from Florence, Kentucky, and he was swimming in a private lake with his older brother and cousin when he went under. Now, the 2 men tried but were unable to rescue him. They called 911 and crews got to the lake late last night and were able to find the boy and pull his body from that lake. Now, he's been identified as Deron Mills. The sheriff says the 13-year-old had little swimming experience, and the 3 swimmers do not live in the neighborhood where that private lake is located.
Thanks, Michelle. Attorney General Loretta Lynch is facing calls to recuse herself from the Hillary Clinton email scandal following an impromptu meeting with Bill Clinton, her husband, in Phoenix Monday. The chat happened in the middle of the Department of Justice's investigation into Clinton's private email server, but Lynch insists the topic never came up. Hannah Daniels has the latest.
At a Facebook event in California Thursday, Attorney General Loretta Lynch continued to deflect questions over her private meeting with Bill Clinton in Phoenix.
I was arriving, he was leaving. He came on to say hello. We spoke about a number of things. There's not much more to it than that.
The half-hour encounter on board Lynch's plane came as the FBI nears the end of its investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server during her time as Secretary of State.
No discussions were held in any cases or anything of that. And he didn't raise anything.
At least one Democrat, Senator Chris Coons of Delaware, said the meeting sent the wrong signal. But Republican Senator John Cornyn took it a step further, saying a special counsel should take over the email investigation.
She would be such a bad president.
Presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump saved his sharpest jabs for Clinton herself.
Look at the calls she's made over the years. She has horrible judgment, including the fact that she voted for the war in Iraq.
Clinton has faced questions about her judgment and trustworthiness throughout her presidential campaign. But this week, a House committee found no new evidence of wrongdoing in her response to the 2012 Benghazi attacks.
I think it's pretty clear it's time to move on.
Lynch is expected to have the final say over whether she'll face any charges for using her private email server. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
Trump is scheduled to address a conservative summit in Denver today while Clinton is off the campaign trail.
Coming up on 5:37 on WKYT this morning, the Maryland man at the center of the popular podcast Serial is getting a new trial. In 2000, Adnan Syed was convicted of killing his former high school girlfriend and given a life sentence. The podcast Serial raised questions about his trial and conviction. 68 million people downloaded that podcast, and the publicity that followed helped spur further investigation. Yesterday, a judge announced a new trial for the now 34-year-old. His attorneys have argued that testimony from an alibi witness was never used in the original trial, and a cell tower expert was never cross-examined. A spokesperson for Syed's family says he may not even know about the retrial as he serves his sentence in a maximum security prison.
Well, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention now says that water was not being filtered properly at the U.S. National Whitewater Center, where a rafter was infected by a deadly amoeba. An Ohio teenager was infected by the amoeba earlier this month and died. The CDC says the center did not have adequate chlorine and filtration systems. The center, which is in North Carolina, the Charlotte area, has suspended whitewater rafting and plans to drain all water from its whitewater system. Well, some people in Lexington are getting a raise today. The city's minimum wage is going up. Lexington's new minimum wage is now $8.20 an hour. That's up from $7.25 an hour, which is the current federal minimum wage. The Urban County Council approved the minimum wage increase last fall. It's actually being done in 3 steps. Next July, the minimum wage in Lexington will go up again to $9.15 an hour, and finally to $10.10 an hour in July of 2018.
Well, after bonding out of jail and then not showing up to court, a drug suspect is on the run this morning. Police arrested 29-year-old Celio Mendoza earlier this month. State police shared this picture of all the marijuana they say he had when they arrested him in Madison County. They say it was about 100 pounds of marijuana. 2 days after Mendoza was arrested, he was bailed out by a woman from Berea. It was on a $5,000 unsecured bond that would not have had to be paid unless Mendoza did not show up to court. But on Monday, Mendoza did not show up for a court proceeding, and there is now a warrant out for his arrest. The Commonwealth's attorney there says this case is an example of a growing bail jumping problem there.
I think you need to look at it really each individual case. I don't think there's any blanket solution. As I say, we can't just lock everybody up and hold them pending trial, because a lot of them don't really need to be there, and most of them are going to show back up.
Attorney David Smith says in 2011 the county had 1 case. Last year they had 81. County clerks say with the new arrest warrant, a $2,500 cash bond will be set for Mendoza when he is found. A Central Kentucky man is facing charges after pretending to be a police officer. Investigators say he also stole from a Walmart in Lincoln County. Stanford police say Travis Hacker carried a BB gun and a toy badge and even wore a collared shirt and tie. Police say he stole electronics from the Walmart there multiple times. They say surveillance video shows him loading up a shopping cart and walking out the front door. Eventually, store employees caught on to what was happening, and police say they caught Hacker red-handed on his 4th trip to the store. Hacker is now charged with impersonating a police officer, shoplifting, and being a persistent felony offender. Well, it's the 4th of July weekend. Welcome to that. And over the next few days, the city has a lot planned to celebrate in Lexington.
Yeah, there are some things going on. The fireworks in Lexington going to be a little bit different, though, this year. Mike Byer is live to fill us in on what we need to know about this year's fireworks.
Good morning, Rebecca. There is a lot in store this weekend. It should be a fun one. Millions of people are going to be selling 4th of July weekend. And this year, there's going to be some different things going on in Lexington, but a lot of fun things. The city's fireworks display will be launched from a new location this year. Instead of the downtown Cox Street parking lot, this year's launch site is along Alumni Drive near the UK Arboretum. This is a map showing the restricted area. Here are some things to keep in mind about this year's firework display. The Arboretum will be closed Monday starting at 8 o'clock. Alumni Drive will be closed between University Drive and Tate's Creek from 9:30 to 11 p.m. Police will be controlling the traffic signals at major intersections near Commonwealth Stadium. The firework display starts at 10. The city is encouraging people to arrive an hour early. LexTran will run shuttles from the Transit Center to and from the stadium for $1 each way. Now, it's important to note that Commonwealth Stadium will not be open, but there will be plenty of areas to park around the stadium for the show, and also a lot of viewing areas to watch it as well. Should be a great weekend, capping off with those fireworks on Monday night. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Well, today may only be the first, but Lexington's July 4th celebrations kick off today and carry on all weekend. And the fun starts for the Great American Pie Contest and Ice Cream Social today at noon. Bakers will compete to see who has the best pie in Lexington. I hope I get that assignment. You can get a free slice of pie and enjoy some ice cream and music. This will be held at the Fifth Third Bank Pavilion at Cheapside Park.
Always a lot of fun. They've been doing that for many, many years, and there's some great pies down there.
Love my pie.
Go check that out. And we're getting started, you know, with the weekend, and it sounds like the weather's going to be okay. Monday's the day we're really going to be watching on that, and Mike is keeping us on track with that. 5:42 the time. Time to check live drive traffic this morning and see what is going on your Friday.
Yeah, a lot of you may actually have the day off work, so good for you. So potentially traffic will be a little bit lighter. Here's a look at the traffic map. Things looking fine out there. And we have a look at one of our live drive cams around town. This is the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's cam at Georgetown Road and Citation Boulevard.
It is the interstates that we anticipate heavy travel on today and over the next several days. Possibly a record number of people will be going somewhere for the 4th of July weekend. So certainly buckle up, be careful, and be attentive to your driving as you head on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you know, and you know, don't make the dad say, if I have to turn this car around, you know, kind of thing.
Or are we there yet?
All of those things, okay? Good to have you along on WKYT this morning, and we are just getting started here with all the latest news.
Snapchat is a popular social media app. Plenty of folks like having fun with filters, and you could actually design some of those. We'll tell you how you can get in on that when we come back.
Looking pretty good this morning. However, here comes some showers and thunderstorms heading our direction. When do we expect those for today? And also, what's your 4th of July forecast look like? Looks soggy on that day. How about your weekend? I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Looking on Defender early this morning and absolutely nothing going on outside. The clouds are appearing, which typically means when clouds start to appear, here comes some rain. The rain's back toward the west, so we're not really expecting that anytime soon. And that patch is actually falling apart. The energy of it is falling apart, but here's the deal with that. This piece of energy right through here, as you can see that, it's really broken up. It's not that impressive. It's heading our direction. It will be over our region right or roughly around noontime. That's when you start to see some more spark up, and that'll get going in the heat of the day. So afternoon hours, that's your best bet. See a passing shower thunderstorm. It is not going to wash out your plans. Now, could you get a heavy downpour? Yes, but it lasts 10 to 20 minutes, moves on. Rest of your day is good to go. 64 degrees there in Lexington, 57 now in Middlesboro. So what I'm saying about this rain is if you have plans today, which a lot of us do, a lot of plans kicking off, a lot of events kicking off, just know this, you'll have a few rumbles passing by. But once it passes by, it's long gone. And so it only about 10 to 20 minutes of your day. If you're under that rain, it's only 40% chance, so not everybody will see that. But if you're under it, it doesn't last that long. Stick to your plans as you're heading out and about on this Friday. Hope Fest going on in Mount Sterling. That's later on this evening at 6 p.m. kicks off. I'll be the MC for that event. They're in Mount Sterling. I'd love to see you out there in Montgomery County. 3rd of July Festival going on in Corbin, down toward that Laurel, Knox, and work your way into the Whitley County line right there, okay? So you got the 3rd of July Festival. Should be a fun event there on Sunday. Sunday is actually looking drier for you guys there for your 3rd of July Festival. That's kind of hard to say. Then we get off toward, say, Friday there for Lakeside Live. Looks pretty good later on this evening. The storms will be long gone by this evening, so Lakeside Live will be fantastic. And Lake Fest, Jamestown, down in Russell County part of Lake Cumberland, kicking off today, going in towards Saturday. I don't see many issues for Lake Fest. Let's talk about your holiday planner as we head throughout your weekend. Tomorrow and off into your Sunday. Tomorrow's not a good chance of rain, 20%, looks pretty good, feels pretty good. Sunday, there is a 40% chance of rain, but it's drying out. It's becoming drier in these trends on these weather models. That's good news for us. However, Monday doesn't look like any dry weather's filtering on in. Monday and Tuesday look pretty soggy. It's going to be a heavy rain threat on both of those days, guys. But for the most part, it's not that bad today, tomorrow, Sunday. We'll actually take it. It looks mainly dry. Not fully dry, but mainly dry. So stick to any plans you have and just know you could have a passing shower or thunderstorm.
Yeah, we'll deal with it. You know, make the best of it.
Looks like Corbin may have the best idea, though.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
3rd of July celebration
right.
down there. They're always ahead of the rest of us, right? Okay, time this morning is 5:49. And if you're a fan of Snapchat, here's a product you are. And yeah, what do you, sometimes
This is a filter with the sunglasses and the surfboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes you make yourself into a cat early in the morning. All right.
Wonder why.
You can now create Snapchat filters that relate specifically to your hometown.
This is a really neat idea. Jake Brills is the creator behind Snapchat Geofilters in Duluth, Minnesota. His town didn't have any special filters before. Now they have 2, thanks to Brills. He found out that Snapchat lets you download a template for the filter, and then you can design an image in Photoshop. So if you happen to be handy with some Photoshop, you can add some new filters, maybe for Lexington, Richmond, Georgetown, other cities around central Kentucky. If you just like Snapchat, you can follow WKYT at WKYT_news. What kind of template do you think they'd have for Richmond?
Maybe maybe Daniel Boone.
Oh, I like that.
Like that.
You make yourself Daniel Boone. There you go.
Just put on a coonskin cap.
Furry
it wouldn't
hat.
be that hard, right? You could do Elvis with Memphis, right?
I could, yeah,
All right.
that'd be cool.
All right, good to have you along this morning, 5:50. It's 10 till 6 on WKYT.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
Also, we'll be checking traffic. We have health news and a lot more. And it's so good to have you with us here on the 1st of July on WKYT This Morning. Good morning. Welcome into WKYT This Morning. It's Friday, July 1st. Here we are.
4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good one. Well, let's take a look right now at some of the stories that is making news right now.
We're busy right now gathering information. One person is dead after being hit by a car late last night on Interstate 75. It happened just before 11 on I-75 in Berea. Police say a person walking along the road was hit by a vehicle. The driver did stop and is cooperating. Police did not give any other information as to who was hit in that situation.
Well, the body of a Powell County man who died while on vacation in Florida has been returned to Kentucky. Ricky Borders was in Florida when he was killed in an accident with a gun. Last night, his remains were welcomed at the Bluegrass Airport by an honor guard. The guard then escorted the body back to Powell County. Attorney General Loretta Lynch is facing calls to recuse herself from the Hillary Clinton email investigation following an impromptu meeting with Bill Clinton, her husband, at a Phoenix airport this week.
The chat happened in the middle of the federal investigation into Clinton's use of a private email server during her time as Secretary of State. Lynch maintains that topic never came up. Presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump is calling the meeting sneaky and horrible. Authorities in Turkey are still working to identify 3 suicide bombers killers who carried out Tuesday's terror attack at Istanbul's main airport. So far, Turkish officials believe the men were from Russia and Central Asia and that ISIS was involved. Airports nationwide are on high alert over this July 4th weekend.
A new study finds the market for unapproved stem cell procedures has exploded in the U.S., with more than 500 clinics nationwide.
Researchers from the University of Minnesota say the majority of the treatments are for orthopedic issues and pain. Researchers say it is unclear whether federal and state authorities are aware of the scope of the problem and issue.
Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots, if there are any. Maybe a little bit slower out there in terms of traffic because it is a holiday weekend we're going into.
At least in town. Now, we do anticipate it getting very busy on the interstates over the weekend, and here's a wide look at the region this morning. I-75 and I-64 are running fine at the moment. Our Urban County Government live drive camera at Georgetown and Citation also indicates, just as Rebecca was saying, that it looks a little quiet in town. Maybe folks, able to sneak off a little time here on this Friday, but we are anticipating record travel this weekend for people going somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So be alert, buckle up, and
be safe.
And be safe. That's right. All right, we do want to check weather. That's something we'll be watching and nowcasting for you throughout the weekend. But Micah has a look ahead.
Yeah, we're going to have a couple of rumbles of thunder today, mainly afternoon hours. And then we head off towards Saturday. Saturday looks pretty good. There is a 20% chance of rain there, 40% chance of rain. That was dropped from 60% yesterday. So there's some good news. It's drying on out on Sunday, but still Monday, 4th of July does not look good. If you're about to take off, have a great weekend. If not, stick with us for another hour of WKYT News.